Helping people where they are with Guide My Finances Director Josh Mazur. Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact. An essential podcast for those who live, work, visit, and play in Carlsbad.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Bret Schanzenbach. I am the president and CEO of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, and I am your host today. And I'm very excited to have with me today Mr. Josh Mazur. Josh is the Director of Business Development at Guide My Finances, but he's also the Chairman-elect of our Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. So thanks for being here, Josh.
A pleasure. Honored to have me on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to start off with you work at Guide My Finances, but that's with your wife. Your wife is the principal there. And that actually isn't the easiest thing to do for spouses to merge that, your personal and your business. But you guys do it, and you've been working with her for a while.
We have. We've been told that we're a power couple. It's a good blend of me just letting her do her thing, her letting me do my thing. And I think that really what creates such a great partnership is that we've got relatively realistic expectations of what the other person wants to accomplish, and kind of let them do their thing and just support them any way that we can.
That's great. That's awesome. But your corporate background, so to speak, or your entrepreneurial, probably a better way to say it, your entrepreneurial background has been pretty diverse. I mean, you're a licensed general contractor, you're a real estate broker, you spent time consulting in the software industry. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey up till now.
Yeah. So I graduated with a degree in database management, which allowed me to really not do a whole lot when I graduated because they were looking for people that had a lot more experience than I did. After a couple of years just kind of bouncing around from website sales into recruiting medical device professionals, I settled into software consulting, and I spent about 15 years working with different organizations on setting up their data silos. What that meant was we would help them manage contacts, inventory. We worked with large clients that had very odd software setup and helping them understand what the software was designed to do, all the way into user interface so that some of the users that weren't comfortable with making a switch were comfortable and trained up properly. It really gave me some great insight into what organizations were working well and the commonalities among them. I mean, you've got organizations that have 10 people that are totally fragmented and working in different directions. And then you've got work groups that are same size that are just drilled in, dialed, know what to do. And I think that setup and my engineering type brain really allowed me to succeed in that technology space, understand what some of the trends were, help people improve their top and bottom lines essentially through the utilization of software. And then from there, I took that task project management style and applied it into the real estate world, knowing that there was more advantageous financial gains. It set me up for reoccurring revenue, passive through owning rental properties. And it kind of blended into the strategy with Guide My Finances, where we have a lot of clients that come to us for investment advice, and one of the areas in their portfolio that they're interested in is real estate.
Sure.
And so being able to help them understand risk analysis, where they're best putting their money, gives me and our clients an idea of, how that all goes together.
Yeah, that's great. I agree that diverse background is a huge asset for you guys in your current line of work. And you're also very involved in the community. I mean, you got your finger in a lot of different things from, CERT and InfraGard, which is, like a public safety emergency response stuff, to Maricosta College, your kids' schools, you're all over the place. But you're also involved here. So I would love for you to share, with your obvious bent towards community engagement, what led you to get involved and dig in at the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, and which eventually led to the board of directors? Why'd you do that?
Well, for me, it's always been about serving other people and helping make the community a better place, knowing that our weakest link is technically the one that's going to pull us back. And so any way that I can get in front of that is a way that I'm interested in providing my time. For the chamber, I happened to be working with Productive Computing in San Marcos, and they were needing a chamber presence. And as somebody that was overseeing their sales and business development, I jumped in and started joining the technology committee.
Nice.
Started chairing there and just really enjoyed the people that I was meeting. It was great for understanding the different needs of the smaller businesses.
Right.
And just through that willingness for me to say yes to anything that the chamber needed, understanding that a lot of the effort that the staff was doing was primary to the mission of the chamber, I felt my role in the chamber as how can I support the staff and its mission. And I think that naturally, just through offering my services, hey, I can help you with this, I can help you with that,
Sure.
it led me towards the board. And then being exposed to this really incredible diverse group of people that were affluent and just incredible leaders also is really what drew me into my board involvement. And then as they asked me to do more, serve on the executive committee, chair other committees, I just always said yes, because it was something that was passionate to me, having been involved in business, understanding all the complexities of these businesses and understanding that a lot of people that are running these small businesses just don't have that real radical transparency and honesty with themselves to say, hey, is this a real viable business? Am I going to succeed at this?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people say, yeah, it's good. And they get their cheerleaders that are saying, awesome. But then they hit the pavement and it's like, whoa, this is a grind. I'm not hitting the numbers that I need to hit. How do I get the dollars that it's making an impact on me and the business?
Wow, that's great. I had a similar path towards my chamber engagement. I was doing real estate when in my local community and joined my local chamber, and same thing, got involved, volunteered, what can I do to help, and got invited to the board. And eventually the gentleman who was leading that chamber, he and his wife moved back to the Midwest. And so I kind of converted from being that volunteer board seat to the paid staff seat, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. And one of the things I've really enjoyed about the chamber, and as I look at your resume and all the different things that you are engaged in, involved in, I feel like the chamber is kind of a hub where a lot of those things come together. The chamber interfaces, of course, with the business community, but also with education, with public safety, with government, nonprofits, and you can kind of see them all come together. And of course, my hope in my role is that we can make a positive impact in all of those things, through what we do. Part of what I would love to chat with you about today is kind of that role the chamber has as that hub. And we have a big event coming up called our CBAD Awards. Now, I'm going to tell everybody what CBAD stands for because, of course, it's a cute little acronym for Carlsbad, or not an acronym, but what do you call it? A pet name almost for Carlsbad. But for us, it stands for the Carlsbad Business Achievement and Distinction Awards. And it's really about celebrating all that's great in Carlsbad. So share with us a little bit about what kinds of things we're going to be doing, or what kind of groups we want to be honoring and focus we have for that event coming up.
Yeah, well, the chamber, like you said, is a great hub. And I recall when we first started working together, one of the things that you had really plugged were the 3 C's: being a catalyst for growth, being a convener for leaders to get things done, and being a champion for a thriving community. And I think that the CBAD Awards really highlights all of those things. You've got best places to work. You've got companies that are making an impact both locally and across a wider environment. You've got several other awards that essentially complement the small, medium, and larger businesses in the area that are really working to make a difference and, set that foundation for those pillars of success that we call in the chamber. And, watching you lead the chamber has just really been a pleasure. I think that you've got great vision, and, you had mentioned that you were familiar with the business sector before you got on the staff side of the chamber. And I think that shows. I mean, the fact that you're personable and know so much about technology and how people adapt. One of the favorite quotes that I've heard in the last year is from Darwin, and it's not the strong that survive, it's not the intelligent people that survive, It's really those that are adaptable to change. And I feel like that is case in point with the Chamber. We've really stuck to our main things that work, but then also pivoted.
Yeah.
And I think that the membership will find that the CBAD Awards really recognize that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, pivot's been the word, right? For the last 18 months, that's been the word. And that's one of the things, one of the categories we're highlighting in our CBAD Awards is our Innovation Award, which is really focusing on those companies that have adapted so successfully and so amazingly in the last 18 months. So I'm excited for that. And tell us some of the companies that have been identified as finalists for these business categories. And then we'll go into some other categories here in a second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to be going off of memory. I should have printed the list off. So I know that Adam Jacobs and Fortis Fitness was in a couple categories.
Yeah, he's in the best place to work category. Yeah.
And we've got Senior Grubbies.
Senior Grubbies and C's Productions are in the innovation space.
Okay. Yeah. Eco.
Eco Life. Let's see. I think they're in the best nonprofit category.
And they had a really cool concept where they were providing some sort of fire protection system for people that live in areas that need to essentially have their cooking spaces that are provided by wood fire. So I thought that was kind of a neat concept.
It's very neat. It's very interesting.
A couple of smaller groups. I think 7 to 7 Electrical was one of them. And so it's neat to see women-owned businesses that are pulling big contracts with San Diego Airport.
Right.
And then you've got some of your mainstays like the Girl Scouts, which, they make such an impact nationally. Right. It's really a nice compliment. I feel like I'm leaving out so many really great companies.
No, that's okay though. But I think you pointed out a very good point there, is that there is a wide diversity of companies who are finalists for these various awards, from small shops to large regional, even in some cases national organizations. And that's what's beautiful about this event, is that we want to really highlight all of those players that are making an impact. You know?
Totally. JLab was part of our last State of the Community, and I think they were nominated for 1 or 2.
JLab's a finalist for Business of the Year. That's right. Yeah.
And maybe All Maven, she's a board member. That's right. So we've got some really exciting.
You're pulling them off of memory better than I am. That's great. I think if I remember correctly, we have 24 finalists across 6 different business categories. So, and what's fun about the event for me, I love the drama of it in a sense, because about 4 finalists for each category, but nobody knows who wins till we get there. And, we do the old-fashioned Oscar award thing where we open the envelope and do a reveal. And yeah, exactly. It's fun. It's fun. It's good stuff. And, coming off of the last 18 months, I think people are excited to celebrate. We need to celebrate.
We're ready to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
We're twiddling our thumbs. Everything's changing. It's staying the same, and then it's changing.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm probably going to forget to say this, so I better throw it in now. But October 14th is this event. But we're also going to be celebrating other categories. So we've mentioned there's business. I mentioned we have a Nonprofit of the Year category, but there's also going to be education awards. And I think last year we did 3 Teacher of the Year awards and 1 Principal of the Year. And so there's going to be that element as well. And you've been involved in some of our relationships, our initiatives with education. I would love for you to just share about that a little bit and just comment on that.
Yeah, so Carlsbad has really an award-winning unified school district. The Board of Trustees runs it well, Dr. Churchill, and then all the way down to the principals and the individual teachers. I mean, having volunteered in first grade classes and having worked with projects with the Board of Trustees, it really gives me a good blend of how the school works and then how to make an impact on that. I mean, that's the real challenging part, is that a company that has 11,000 people that it's serving in its student body, or 13,000, whatever the number is, 1,000 employees, it's a big organization that has a lot of complexity, especially considering that it's state funded. And so they're getting their direction from people that aren't necessarily involved in their local community that kind of guide them. And then you have these individual operators, if you will, teachers, principals, crossing guards even, that will step in and kind of put everything together.
Yeah.
And for me, the education component is really critical. I think that whole transition from workplace training into training our kids, Carlsbad Unified has really done a great job. I mean, you see it in their high school with, the career paths and helping them identify in freshman, sophomore years, hey, what am I good at? Arts, engineering, math, reading. And I really like to see that even more in the elementary and middle school areas too, where they're starting to identify at a young age what kids might be prone to software development because they're really good at math.
Sure.
Or which ones are really strong in reading comprehension that might be able to help us with contract writing and some of our legal system. So, I think that that's important. And then really the items that I take from the chamber and interject into the education are how can we help as a business community?
Yes.
Knowing that we've got leaders that are up and coming. As you see, you started that Rising Star program, which has been fantastic. It's highlighting, awarding kids that are coming up through the ranks, showing them what we have to offer in Carlsbad, and kind of going back very basically. And, it's been a pleasure just to get to know the teachers, Magnolia and throughout Valley Middle School, Carlsbad High School. And like I said, the administrative staff is really just impressive with the intention to serve the students as best as they can.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this, through our award event, the CBAD Awards, the teachers, we talked a second ago about businesses having to pivot and businesses having to innovate over the last 18 months. But boy, so has education had to innovate and adapt to a very fluid landscape.
Yeah. So true.
So we look forward to being able to honor them. And we also are going to have some first responder awards for the CBAD Awards. And that'll be a first for us here in Carlsbad, at least in this program. I'm excited about this because we really are covering every facet of the community that makes this such a great place to live, to work, to locate a business, to shop, to dine, to vacation. And so this event I'm just so looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done a really awesome job here at the Chamber recognizing our first responders from Ready Carlsbad.
Yes.
That had won that Red Cross Award that FEMA had provided a couple years ago, into the annual Ready Carlsbad Awards, into this police award. It just really, or fire, it really shows our dedication. And I think that that's from a top down. I mean, having been involved in the Citizens Academy with Carlsbad, you really see that the city council and the city staff say, hey, whatever our first responders need, let's get it for them, whether or not it's an engine, upgradable car tech, something that's even more ergonomic. And so that's one of the things that I think helps, and being able to recognize that from a business perspective is really critical, because that is a large sense of where their property taxes come from and, how are they getting funded? A lot of it is the businesses here that are contributing to those.
Perfect. So if somebody wanted to come attend the event or maybe even sponsor a table, how would they do that?
I think that the website, carlsbad.org, has a clickable link, and it is simple, easy, put in your information. At this point, we're open and ready to take them. So come on over. We'd love to have you there.
Yep, carlsbad.org. You can get it. Tickets are available for individuals and or sponsor a table, even better. We will be at the Westin, and we're looking forward to, obviously we'll follow safety protocols, but we're looking forward to getting people back together and celebrating in person.
We'll probably have a lot of nurses, police officers, and firefighters, so come on down.
Yeah, exactly. So when I was preparing for our chat together today, I did find something new. That I didn't know.
I love this. This is always the best.
Yeah, this is the something that I think our listening audience needs to know. You were actually a curling state champion.
Yes, it is true. So,
okay, do tell.
Being from the Midwest, we had curling lodges that we would go to during the wintertime. And when I was 15, one of my friends was putting together a curling team.
Wow.
And his parents were curlers, and I had never curled before. And he said, hey, if you want to try this, I'll teach you in like a few months. And then we go for state championships and then all the way to nationals.
Wow.
And so sure enough, I got on there, and I'd been familiar with the ice. I ice skated since I was about 5 and just been out on frozen lakes. So it was comfortable for me to slide there. And picked up those 42-pound Scottish rocks, and we slid them down the pebbled ice right into the house. We ended up winning a state championship about 6 months after I started training. Went off to a national championship in Schenectady, New York. Came in 10th out of the nation.
That's awesome.
Which is super awesome. First team was, I think, qualified for the Junior Olympics.
Wow.
So you kind of have that roll into. And it was a fun little 1-year spiel. The truth is, when we came in 10th, we had a couple extra days, and that meant that me and my buddies were just hanging out in the hotel room playing Sega Genesis.
Yeah. That's
Mortal Kombat, not missing school. So it was fun. And
that's great. That's a great little personal tidbit I hadn't known. Well, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to come in and chat. Thank you for all your service to our community and to our organization at the Chamber and to our board. Looking forward to this CBAD Awards event, and looking forward it's actually just now, by the time our listeners hear this, it'll be just a couple months till you take over as chair.
It is a pleasure being here, and certainly if there's anything that I can do for the membership, I've got an open door policy, always welcome any feedback. My compliments to the Chamber staff and our current board of directors. I mean, really, I feel like I'm just a single person that's following the instruction of all those folks and just trying to serve those people as best as we can. So a big thank you and much appreciation to all the people that have allowed this to happen.
Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on our Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please hit the follow button on wherever you get your audio, and please tell a friend. We would love to hear your feedback, which you can share at carlsbadpodcast.com. You can leave us a review, ask a question, or leave an audio comment, which we can play on the show in the future. And that's all we have for today. Can't wait to see you next time on Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact. And remember, share some kindness today. It's free, creates goodwill, and makes you feel great.